and you're watching Inside the Minds of the Most Influential Women of Hollywood. Today, I'm interviewing Victoria Burrows, probably one of the biggest casting directors you will ever meet, because she cast one of the best movies of all time, The Lord of the Rings, which has made me so happy. So happy. And then she also cast The Adventures of Tintin, which also makes me really excited. See you at the interview. Hope you enjoy. Inside the Minds of the Most Influential Women of Hollywood, take one. I'm Madison Rothschild, and you're watching Inside the Minds of the Most Influential Women of Hollywood.
Hi, Madison.
So, how are you?
I'm great.
It's great to meet you.
You too. I'm very impressed that you're doing this.
Thank you. As a kid. So, to kick it off with the questions, as a kid, what did you think you'd grow up to be?
I had no idea. I had no idea until I hit my 20s. I just was having fun with life and couldn't figure it out. But I liked people. So that's led into casting people, right?
Yeah. So, now when you look back, did anything in your childhood influence you towards what you do now?
Probably. I was really good at creating group gatherings and kind of being a little social director. And in a sense, casting has that ability to, put things together.
Yeah.
And then I got a job at the Brentwood Theaters at 26th and Wilshire when they were still there. And I was in the concession stand helping the people with their food going into the movies. And I went into the movie theater on my breaks and I saw it and I started getting excited. So that's, I think, kicked it off.
That's neat.
It is.
The Biz. What's your favorite project you've ever done?
My favorite project, probably Lord of the Rings. That was pretty exciting.
That's probably amazing. It's one of the best movies of all time.
Ever.
Oh, of all time.
And I got to go to New Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fun. So I got to watch the actors work. I got to watch the director direct, and that's very exciting.
That's neat. So, what's the difference to you between casting television and film?
When you're doing features, it's slower. You have more time to do things and look at the actors and interview because you have a bigger time schedule before you start the movie. Mm-hmm. In television, you do it on let's say an episodic, which is a weekly show. You're doing it every 7 days. So you're moving very fast.
So it seems you prefer film now, even though you started out in television. Why?
I think films like me better. I don't know. It was like, first I was doing television, and then I started doing television movies, and then all of a sudden I started getting calls to do features. And then what happens is because you're busy doing the features, when television's going, you're busy already, so they go and get someone else, and then after a while they think that's all you do. So for me, I've reached out to the television, industry and said, it's like riding a bike, you don't forget. So we can do it again, but we're still doing the features. I love both, though. I really do.
So, what's your favorite part of every day in your job?
Besides lunch. I like looking at the videos on actors. I like thinking about the character that's in the script and finding out from the agents and the managers who they're recommending, and then I get to think about who fits. And so right now, working on the movie that we're working on at the time, right now while we're doing this interview, we get to look at all their film work, and then we get to read them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, other than the qualities you stated about yourself, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be a casting director?
They have to be a good multitasker. You can't just be good at one thing. You have to be good at working a few things at the same time. Mm-hmm. And you have to be willing to do long hours. And you have to really like actors.
I was just wondering, do you have any tips for actors when they go in for auditions?
Well, they shouldn't shake our hands because germs, when you shake hands, it can be, I got a cold once after shaking about 60 hands. And I was like, I won't do that again. So I learned. I think that they should be prepared with their scenes. You know, when you're given a character, you should know it. Even if you're given 2 scenes, at least know 1 scene. And you should try and read the material before you come in for the audition. You should also dress in the feeling of the character. So if you're going up for a sports player, you don't wear a dress, right?
Yeah.
You dress in shorts and, you know, a t-shirt and make it feel like it's that. So we recommend that people do that.
What are some of your biggest pet peeves with auditions?
Where they keep asking to do it over and over and over again. Where they talk too much. Where they make excuses about, oh, I couldn't study this because I was up for another job and I would study that and I have so much to do. You know, those kinds of things where it makes our project not look important. Our project should be just as important as every other project. So an actor should come in not making excuses and not going on and on and on about other things. Stay with the material, stay with the role, and ask the pertinent questions for that. Do the job, and then say thank you and go.
I bet millions of people are saying thank you right now for that.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Star Paws Rescue. You only had 1 pet growing up. What pets do you have now?
I have a whole house full, but they're all dogs. And from Chihuahuas to poodles to pit bulls, which are really sweet. I like my pit bulls.
I got bitten in the face by a pit bull.
You did? Oh dear, I'm sorry. I apologize for them. I don't think they meant to.
Why did you start Star Paws Rescue?
I took some time off from work, you know, because I've been doing this now for 30 years. But about 10 years ago, I took some time off and I started getting fidgety. And one of my friends, who was also in casting, on her off time does rescue. So I went and helped her out, and I got, you know, it's like when you get bitten by the acting bug. I got bitten by the rescue bug. So I started helping, I started going to adoptions, I started going to the shelters for transporting, and pretty soon you start looking in their eyes, right? And you start worrying about them.
I know.
Helpless.
It's just like every time I see those commercials for adoption, I get a little teary.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And one of the cats actually pawed at the camera like it's reaching.
Because they're saying, help me.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I got involved, and then I started getting more involved, and then you end up with some in your home, and then you're finding out where they go, and you want to make sure they're safe, and pretty soon I felt like I needed to do it myself. And then I got some great help, and so now I have volunteers and lots of dogs and finding them homes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I expect you have a very noisy house.
You are so right.
The genie question. Well, here's one of my favorite questions.
Okay.
If a magic genie came to you and gave you 3 wishes, what would they be?
Well, the first one was that I would like people and dogs not to suffer and not to starve. That would be a good one, don't you think?
Yeah.
The second one is I'd like a lot of money to travel around the world and help the helpless. And then the third one I have to read because you gave me good stuff to think about. Of course, that's how I... And then... Oh, and then the people would treat each other better. Right? Be respectful to each other and be helpful.
Yeah.
Those are really... I think those are pretty good global things that we should all be working on.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. That was a great interview.
Oh,
So,
good.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
I enjoyed it too.
I did. I loved it. Now, you're acting, right?
Yes.
So this is part of a project that will be for acting, or is this just a school project?
Well, I do a blog, so I'm homeschooled, but I'm going into school for a semester.
I think you're perfect for being an actress. You
Thank-
just have a great look and a great energy, and I think people will love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I'm Madison Rothschild, and you're watching Inside the Minds of the Most Influential Women of Hollywood.